You're listening to Permission To, the podcast where we dive into the science and soul of owning your worthiness as a perfectly imperfect human being. I'm your host, Sam Dew, psychotherapist, positive psychology coach, mama to a beautiful 5-year-old Amelie, and passionate advocate for living an inspired life. My aim is to show you that you have full permission to own your worthiness so that you can embrace your true nature and begin walking boldly toward your dreams. Let's dive in. Hi everyone. I am really excited about today's episode. I just had a moment today which inspired today's episode. So just tell you a little backstory. I was just sitting at a cafe doing my work. I'd had a swim in the ocean. Frankie was hanging out at the library with our mother's helper, who still helps out half a day a week. And I feel like she's like almost like a second granny to Frankie. So it's felt really special to have her for this like half a day where I don't necessarily do work. I just do some like nice self-care and have time for me. And yeah, if I feel like it, do a podcast episode or something. Anyway, I was obviously living my best life. It had been sunny, having a swim, working at a cafe. They're like all my favorite things. And I just had this moment of like, oh my gosh, like I love my life so much right now. I don't feel like I need to go on holidays. And like that wasn't like a one-off thought for me. I have often felt that way about my life, like that I love my life so much, especially since I've had kids actually, because going on holidays with kids, well, it's a whole different story. I used to love traveling and having like a lot of adventure, and like I still do love that, but going on holidays with children is sometimes more work than it is to just stay at home with them. But also I just feel like the things that I get out of travel, that I used to get out of travel before I had kids, I get a lot of that out of my life in Perth anyway, which is really interesting. So yeah, it's things like making sure that I'm in water regularly. That's just something I love, whether it's a swim in the ocean, like a luxury spa soak, or a swim in the swimming pool or a bath. Like there's just something for me about making sure that I'm regularly in water. So good for my nervous system, but just, I just feel like I'm a water baby, and there's something about being in water that is so yes for me. Getting to do the work I love with the clients I love, but in like a really spacious way. You know, I used to see like so many clients in a week and feel like that was the only way that I could make like a living for my family. And then it just became so unsustainable, and I would just feel like so emotionally drained by the end of the week. And now I've changed the way I set up my life so that I have lots of days and weeks where I'm not seeing clients, and then I also have lots of days where I am seeing clients. And obviously I love both of those kind of days in different ways. I just feel like life's great and then I don't need to go on holidays. And that's not to say that I won't go on holidays, of course, like making memories and going on adventure and getting out of your comfort zone and seeing new places is all still really important to me. But that got me thinking about like how, wow, like my life, if you look at it and the way that I define my success, my life is like wildly successful right now. But from other people might look at it and go, oh no, she's not that successful. Like my business isn't earning as much money as it was before Frankie was born. Maybe like I'm not financially as successful as some other business owners are right now. But, I'm always playing the long game and trusting that I'm building a sustainable business and that I will get there without burning out. So I just wanted to do this episode on permission to define your own success. And like, let's really think about, I want to help you create a life that you love so much that you don't feel like you need to go on holidays. And you might be like, yay, I get to go on holidays, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I'm like dragging my butt into the airplane seat, exhausted and frazzled and absolutely need this holiday. And I want to acknowledge there's a lot of privilege in my life. I have access to a lot of resources and opportunities I know not everyone has. And so, hey, if you are living a life at the moment where you really need holidays and you do feel like you drag yourself onto the aeroplane, that is okay. There's no shame in that. And I have been there as well. But what I want to inspire you to do today is think about, well, is there a way that I could make my life so much more enjoyable, so much more pleasurable that I don't feel like I need holidays? So that's what we're going to do today. First, I want to start with, how do you define your own success? Okay, so maybe you're like me, you don't give a crap about BMWs, you don't care about fancy cars. Maybe you love like freedom, that sense of freedom that, every Friday you have the whole day free, Obviously that's where this Thursday for me, where I feel like it's so successful for me, is like it's a free day for me. No mum responsibilities for at least half the day, no business responsibilities unless I choose to do them. Freedom is one of my highest values. And so when I have that half a day a week, I just feel wildly successful. So what do you value most? The first way that you can learn to define your own success is to unpack what is one of your highest values. You will know the answer to this when you think about times when you felt really alive, when you felt really good, when you've had those aha moments like popping into your brain like I have today. That's a sign that like in those moments you're living aligned to your values. And also, just as a PS there, you might also have like really hard days. Like there was a month ago where I was like, oh man, like what am I doing? Should I just like give up on my business? So, I'm not saying that if you're living a life aligned to your values that it's always going to feel great. There will also be moments where it feels really hard, but the thing that you value the most will inspire you to keep going and to not give up. So yeah, ask yourself, what are your values? What are your top 5 values? What is most important to you? And then I want you to do this exercise. Some of you may have already done this with me before, if you're clients or if you've done like any of my free workshops, but I want you to get a pen and a paper out and like pretend that you've just woken up, and I want you to describe your dream life from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. What do you see when you look out of your window? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you touch? What do you taste? And just use all of your senses to go moment to moment of your ideal day. You might want to spend like a good 20 minutes doing this if you've got the space, and just look at like what in that ideal day is already available to you. For example, like one of my dreams is to live in this beautiful suburb that I love in Perth, Cottesloe, and like financially that feels like really out of reach at the moment. But even when I just go to Cottesloe and have a coffee and have a swim, I already like tap into that feeling of like I'm living my dream life. So I don't need to go and buy like a $5 million house to tap into that energy. So yeah, for you, once you've done your ideal day, what are some things that you can do no matter where you're at in life, and how can you start to drip feed them into your day, into your week? Like for me, another way that I feel really successful is when I do my dance classes once a week, because they just bring me so much joy and energy and pleasure. And so yeah, just look at your week and how can you start to build more of your vision, of the things that make you feel successful, that make you feel happy and proud of yourself into your week. And then just really start to connect to that vision. So you might want to actually read through that script of how your ideal day goes and like really tap into that energy of future you. But also make sure you ground it in the day-to-day. Like, let's stop waiting, like, you don't need to wait until you've got a 6-figure business or $1 million business to feel successful and to feel happy and to have a great life. Like, life's so short. Like, I hate to say this, but it's true. Like, one of us could die tomorrow and we don't have control over what happens in our life. And so we have to choose to really like just enjoy life and feel successful and claim our success today. Like, stop putting conditions on your success. You know, it's very much like the work that I do with women around, like, stop waiting to say that, you know, I'll be worthy, I'll be good enough when my book is published or when I reach 6 figures. No, you are already enough right now. You are already so beautiful and enough right now. So please just remember this, okay, that you are already successful. Sometimes we forget it because we're so busy looking at other people, comparing, you know, their Instagram feeds and what they are wearing and what they are doing, what car they're driving and all of those things. But that's actually got nothing to do with you. And the one benefit, I mean, there are so many benefits to defining your own success. Firstly, it's going to help you. It's going to be like a compass for you, so that you, whenever you get asked to do something or you have an opportunity or a decision to make, you can use the lens of, hang on, what's success look for me? What's most important to me to make those decisions? But even more important than that is that the more connected you are to your own definition of success, the less you are going to care about the person next door and what they are doing, the less time you are going to waste on Instagram comparing yourself to someone else. So this is a really, really important reminder today to give yourself some time to do that exercise if you haven't already. Reconnect with your values, like what do you value the most, what's most important to you, and then begin to really define your own success. And maybe like me, you'll be just like pleasantly surprised to remember, hey, I actually am already successful. I need to stop waiting and telling myself that I have to do all these things and then I'll be successful. So it's a bit of a permission slip to like feel grateful for where you're at already. And to celebrate the success that you have already created because you are living life on your own terms. So that is it for today. I feel like it was a bit of a pep talk. And so often I feel like the episodes and the things that I create for you are also the things that I need. Like, I had a moment of really just being like, wow, I actually am already successful. And I hope through this episode and through doing those exercises that you also have that moment of just feeling so much gratitude and a sense of success. So that is it for today. Short and sweet episode. I will see you next week. If you love this episode, I'd be so grateful if you could give me a 5-star review. See you next week. Mwah.